So I've been shopping around, playing the field a little bit, and I think I'm ready to move in together. Let's go. Oh yeah. What is up, you beautiful humans? Welcome back to the channel, and I want to say first and foremost, thank you so much for sponsoring this video. It's because of you. You're the sponsor of this video. You're the reason why I was able to invest in the Deity S-Mic 2S that is just out of the shot here. It is the shotgun mic that I am filming on right now, and I want to give you back some value. I want to actually share with you, if you're thinking about your studio setup, if you're thinking about your particular scenario, I want to help you with that buying decision. So that's what we're going to be getting into. Now, one of the things that I've always recommended to you, which is a great budget condenser microphone, is the Rode VideoMicro, and it is paired up right next to the Deity S-Mic 2S. Now, here's the thing. What I need to be clear here, because the comments are going to go nuts over this. This is not a fair comparison, because the VideoMicro is actually running a 3.5mm cord that goes right into the Sony a6400. And of course, those preamps. Sony preamps are actually pretty good, but it's not a true fair comparison when we have an XLR balanced connection going into an audio interface like this Zoom H6. So for those of you who, I just want to be clear on that, a more fair comparison may be something like the D3 or D3 Pro from Deity, but I do not have that in my possession. However, I think that's more of a fair comparison. I'm just trying to help you out when it comes to the lower end of your budget, around $50 or $60. The VideoMicro is great, but as you start to move up in your budget, and I still think the S-Mic 2S is a fantastic budget shotgun microphone, because shotgun microphones can go several hundred, like multiple hundreds, up to $1,000 or more. So at around $300, $319, I still think that this is a great budget entry into the shotgun mic space. Now, the S-Mic 2S, S standing for the shorter version of the S-Mic 2, and this comes in at 30 ounces or 85 grams. And this is an all brass construction, which helps you reject a lot of that RFI. And of course, it's got a beautiful black speckled finish to top it off. Now, as far as the pickup pattern is concerned, this is a super cardioid pattern, and I am right underneath the microphone, and just the bill of my hat here. And if I put my hand up like this, if I were to come across, I would almost touch the microphone. So it's about 6, maybe 8 inches away from my mouth. And you definitely want to get it as close as possible to your subject. And if you want to keep it out of frame, that's obvious, but just trying to keep it as close around the subject's mouth and how they're projecting their voice. And of course, as far as the off-axis rejection, there is some there. And of course, you know, behind the mic or on top of the microphone. And one of the things that you need to think about, especially with a shotgun microphone, and that's why many people might think that's not the perfect setup, but right now, I'll drop off all audio, or at least me talking, and you can hear the room noise. I have a server in the back here. I've got a light over here that does have a fan. So why don't we drop off and see what you think about that? Now, of course, a lot of this can be cleaned up in post. So for me, in my workflow, this is not a problem, because again, I can just bring that into the editor and fix it like no problem, because I have a very similar workflow with a lot of the videos that I do. Now, as far as setting up your studio, one of the things that I certainly would recommend is moving blankets or some sound dampening, but something that actually works for your space. Because again, the shotgun mic, it's fantastic, but it will be able to pick up some of the room noise that bounces off the wall. So without these moving blankets, it probably would be a little bit more challenging for me in my post-production. And of course, that could be the same case when it comes to live streaming, especially if you are a gamer and you like to stream. I've had people ask me about shotgun mics, and sure, it's great because again, you can be like all over the place and not bumping into a mic, but as far as like picking up those buttons, like in that noise, you're getting the voice, right? But you're still gonna be picking up a little bit of that noise from the remote. Or if you are on the keyboard, I mean, I have an Apple keyboard. You may have something quite louder than that, but if you're just kind of, is that what you do when you're live streaming? Is that how you type? Anyway, my point being is that if you are worried about that kind of noise and that kind of pickup, a shotgun mic may not be the right tool for you. But again, for me, that might be something that I try to fix in post because I love the freedom to be able to move around. Now, the S-Mic 2S is also weather resistant. Now, that doesn't mean you go and drop it in a pool or a pond or a lake and it's gonna work for you just fine. But when you're on location, you're filming on a set or you're doing interviews or you're out in the open, yes, you can use this mic and that would be great for that low profile and lighter weight for those that are in your sound crew being able to hold that mic over someone. But if it's raining, your microphone should be good to go per what Deity says. But again, dropping it in a pool or a lake, probably not so much. And then of course, speaking of which, when it comes to weatherproofing and protecting the microphone itself, Deity has hooked us up with a great hard shell case. I love the fact that they do that. And of course, that in itself is waterproof. And of course, the dings and dangs going along from one location to another, pitching it into your car. You shouldn't pitch it into your car, but you know what I mean. It helps protect the microphone, and I really can't be thankful enough to have my gear protected, especially when you're on the go. Now, for those of you that are regular to the channel, you know that I love comparing the technology when it comes to multiple use cases with the Deity S-Mic 2S. The thing is that you obviously have an audio interface or are considering getting an audio interface if you are considering a shotgun mic like this. So with the Zoom H6 or any audio interface that you connect to your computer, you could certainly do voiceover work or podcasting. So using something like this tripod, this tabletop tripod, although I would recommend if you're gonna get a tripod, you would want to put it in a shock mount, and I will link that up as well. And then also too, moving even like away from the tabletop, I would almost just kind of recommend a very inexpensive microphone stand or some sort of boom arm that you can actually get the microphone off of the table and kind of help sort of get rid of a lot of that noise and that shake that you might have when you bump up against the table. So again, if the live streaming situation doesn't bother you so much, like with the remotes and picking up that noise, but having that freedom to work, or the voiceover work and putting that into play with a podcast, or if you want to do a video podcast, again, you can keep it up over here, or I could bring that boom arm down and just kind of talk into it just like I would a normal podcast, just right in front, just like a couple of inches away from my mouth. So be sure to stay tuned for a podcasting setup in an upcoming video. Now I realized I haven't gone too much into the hardware or really the gear specifications when it comes to this microphone. When it comes to that, I'm gonna leave that to Curtis Judd, who's done a wonderful video on the S2S. So I'm gonna link that up. But I just wanna start the conversation here when it comes to your shotgun mic needs. If this is something that you're really thinking about, because if you've never heard of Deity, you know what, I really have to, give them some props on the fact that Deity is really helping out the creator community. And Andrew over there has been really just rampant all over Twitter, just having conversations on Twitter. They have a YouTube channel. They're really wanting, the team over there really wants to help creators get what they need, and not just so much from the gear that they purchase from Deity, but just overall, just helping us with our sound design. And the fact that you just have that sort of virtual touch point is just really amazing. You feel like you just have like a virtual friend online. And so again, I would just recommend just giving Deity a chance. Just go over there on Twitter, follow them, check them out on YouTube and see what you think. But you really know and feel that there's a person, that there's a team right behind there, just rooting for you, rooting for your success, and wanting you to just completely level up your game each and every time that you're creating. So I'm gonna get off my social soapbox there, but what questions can I help you with? What conversations can we have below? And as always, you go out there, do those things that matter. You get out there and you start creating and doing those fun things and those things that are meaningful to you. Go rock faces. I'm gonna keep creating content here. I can't thank you enough for your time and attention. And until next time, I will catch you on the next one.